Hi guys, it's Dakota. Hope everybody's doing well. So I'm having some Earl Grey and lavender tea and it smells divine. I'm going to let that steep a minute. Oh, it smells good. And it is good. All right, so welcome to the Chakra Magical series. We are today going to be talking about our third chakra, which is our solar plexus chakra. So if you have not seen any of these videos, you might want to go back to the first, to part one, which is the root chakra. And that way you can kind of get caught up as to what this is. But I'll give you a little refresher in case you don't want to. And so if you already know, bear with me. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. Just a few little bits and pieces. Okay, so one, this is something that I have sort of worked on, and I'm not saying that I created this on my own. I have not seen or read any books or seen any videos exactly on spell work for the chakras. And so years ago, I thought, rather than, there's times when I'm feeling active and I probably should just lay down and meditate, but I'm not really wanting to do that. And I like adding a little touch of spell work, a little touch of magic to whatever it is that I'm doing. So I came up with it's a week long, it's a 7-day practice that I like to do when I feel like my chakras are not aligned. And sometimes we're not even aware. I mean, we should be aware, right? We should be aware, but sometimes we're not even aware because we get wrapped up in our own self and things that are going on. And so we forget to say, I wonder if my chakras need to be aligned. Could that be, am I acting this way, acting out this way, or feeling this way, whatever it is, because maybe I have a blocked chakra. So it's really a good idea to go ahead and get your chakras aligned anyway. However, whenever you feel like you want to do it, whenever you have time, or if things are going on, it's really a good idea to do it then. But I'm going to say, even if you did it once a month, once every other month, just as a maintenance, to keep everything open and flowing, keep that, that key energy, that chi energy going, and keep those spinning chakras all aligned and balanced. So, but I did create a 7-day practice. So I thought I would share them here with you on the channel, on my channel. And so we've already covered the root chakra, which is your first chakra. We've covered the sacral chakra, which is your second chakra. And today we're going to be talking about our third chakra, which is the solar plexus chakra. Now, again, if you've watched the videos, then you know that I'm not going into deep history about the chakras. I'm doing this based on you knowing a little bit about the chakras and the history of the chakras. So this is not a chakra subject. I'm assuming and I'm hoping that you will study a little bit about the chakras before you start getting into the magical aspect of them, because why do anything if you don't know why you're doing it, whether it's a spell work or whether it's just holding a stone and closing your eyes. You got to understand about the chakras. I just didn't want to do it. There's thousands of videos on YouTube. There's blogs. There's all kinds of really good books. David Pond, P-O-N-D. I think he's an excellent source for chakras. There's another book called, I think it's called Wheel of Life. I don't remember the author's name, but it's a pretty thick book. It's pretty deep, it's pretty involved. But if you're going to be working with the chakras, it's something that you should know. So as far as the history goes, we're not doing that. I'm actually here to talk just a brief little synopsis about each of the chakras, what they do, what they don't do if they're blocked, and what they do and they don't do if they're unblocked, and then go right into the spell work that I do or have done for them. And a few of these are some that I have since I first started doing them a few years ago. You know, you always tweak things and you always come up with different things. And so some of these I've actually done for clients and who've wanted to follow the 7-day program. So, you know, you're just going to have to use your own creativity and what you feel. So what I show you might just be one way, a spell work one way that you can do. And if you don't like that, then you can tweak it or not do it at all. You know, it's up to you. All right, so a little bit about the solar plexus. Okay, that is, you know, if we just really want to simplify things, it's your stomach area. It's right here in the belly. That's where it is. It's about 2 or 3 inches above the belly button and below, you know, below your rib cage bone, right below that. So it's right in the middle of your stomach area. And this is the area that holds our emotions. It holds our feelings. That's where it holds our feelings. And let me talk about when the chakra is blocked first. And by blocked, I mean it can be completely blocked where chakras spin. We talked about that. You'll have to watch the video. Sometimes they're just completely blocked. Other times they're just not aligned properly, sort of wobbly is how I picture them. Again, this is just how I see the chakras. This isn't law. This isn't how it is. This is just how I see them and how I explain them when I'm teaching classes on the chakras. All right, so again, the solar plexus in your stomach area is where we hold our emotions. So when you've had some sort of stress, or you've had a traumatic experience, or you've had an illness, or you've had an argument, or, you know, you're just really, you're mad and, you know, you're really angry, or you've been really hurt. That's where we hold it. We hold it in our stomach. And this is why there are so many illnesses or diseases, conditions, issues with our stomach area because of all those things, and that's where we hold it. So naturally, you want that area to be open and working as properly and as smoothly as it can. And so, you know, and it's also, now it's not where our intuition comes from exactly, but it is connected. I would tell you that it is connected. Now, I don't have children, as you know. I have human children. I have fur baby and feathered babies. Oh, speaking of feathers, real quick, I know I'm getting off topic, but when I came into the cottage today, under my table here was this little feather. Isn't it cute? Now, I have looked all around the cottage to make sure there wasn't any birdies in here. I have not found any little birdies trapped anywhere. And right here, it's almost, I don't know if the camera is showing that good enough. Hold it against my black shirt. But it's kind of pinkish. And I'm wondering, we have a lot of cardinals. So I'm wondering if it might have maybe came from a cardinal, a young cardinal that maybe doesn't have all their colors yet, or an underfeather or something. I'm not really sure what bird it came from. But yeah, it was in the cottage underneath my table when I walked in here. I don't know if it could have blown in, how it would have blown in. Maybe when I opened the door, maybe I brought it in with my shoe. However, when I enter the cottage, I take my shoes off, so I'm barefoot in here. I've got socks on. So I'm not really sure. So I'm going to consider that a gift, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful to have it, and it will remain here in the cottage because that is where I found it. So there's a message there, and hopefully it will be delivered to me soon. And there you go. That delivery, I'm hoping that I feel the message. Now back to the parent thing. A lot of people that have children, um, when they're lying, when they're up to something, if they're in trouble, if they've been hurt. It's that instinctual thing, but you feel it a lot of times. You feel it in your stomach first, and so it does have to do a little bit with intuition, and so again, overall, it's where we hold our feelings. Now, when it is aligned, that is our personal power. That is our, look at my notes. That's our self-acceptance. That's our calm. That's our tranquility. That is our, let me look. Our inner sun. I love that. That's our inner sun. Our willpower comes from there. So that would be a good enough reason for me to want to keep that chakra aligned. So, sip of tea, sorry. Earl Grey lavender, delicious. Okay, so the color of the solar plexus that corresponds with the solar plexus is yellow. And of course, yellow corresponds with fire. And it's really easy to remember. If you can remember solar plexus, solar, sun, yellow, then it's very, very easy to remember that. Just like we talked about the root chakra, if you can remember, roots go into the earth, and earth is dark and fertile, but red is the color of the root chakra. But roots will help you remember root chakra. And then of course, solar plexus, we can easily remember that. Solar, sun, and that color would be yellow. Now, some of the oils that correspond, and I'm going to have to refer to my notes here, some of the oils that correspond, I don't do a whole lot with oils, as you know, as far as, what's funny is I make oils for the store. I've mentioned that before, and I don't draw the oil and make the oil. I blend the oils with the corresponding herb that goes with the intention. These are intentional oils. They're not necessarily for wearing on your body. You can, but they're 100%. You got to dilute them and blah, blah, blah. But they're really good. They're for anointing, anointing your stones. If you want to lay stones on your body for your chakras, you could anoint your stone. We have prosperity oil. Anoint your money. Anoint your altar tools, those types of things. You can put it in a diffuser as well. But as far as oils in my spell work, I don't use them a whole lot other than to dress candles and maybe a couple of drops I might use in my incense that I make. So the oils are myrrh, chamomile, valerian, and I hope the valerian oil smells better than the valerian powder or the valerian root. We carry it at the store. It smells like stinky feet. It's a horrible smell. I mean, we keep it. We bag our herbs, and so they're in bags. We keep it in the back room, double wrapped in plastic bags, in a tote, in a cardboard box. And even then, every time you open the cupboard, you can smell it. It's just really strong. But I can see why valerian, because valerian is a calming herb. It helps to keep you calm, helps you rest, helps you sleep. So I can see where that would be a good herb for the solar plexus, because again, stressed out, valerian is going to help calm. You can carry it with you also as an herb if you wanted to do that instead of an oil, because I don't know, I've never smelled the oil, but if it smells like the root, you're not going to want to wear it. Herbs, very simple, yellow. Uh, Lemon peel, lemongrass, ginger is a good one. Um, Lemon balm, bee balm. Now, if you look those up in the books, they may not say anything about the solar plexus, but they might talk about other things like protection or creativity or whatever things they are. But it's still like the bee balm. Hello, bees, bee. A bee is fire, and they are attracted to, flowers and pollen is yellow. So I mean, it just, and beeswax is yellow. So yeah. So bee balm, and then lemon, of course, lemons are yellow, and there you go. So that would be some of the herbs, and we're actually going to be using lemon peel. Looks a lot like the orange peel, but it's actually lemon peel. And we're actually going to be using calendula today, which is yellow, and that's what we're going to be using today. And then if we talked in the last two videos about some foods, like if you just need a quick fix for that, yellow foods, bananas, yellow peppers, yellow squash, lemon water, excellent, because water helps to flush. It's purifying, helps to flush. And of course, so get some water, nice, fresh, spring filtered water, something like that. Squeeze some lemon juice in there, and excellent source for the solar plexus. And then, of course, honey. So I do take honey every day. I take it for my allergies. I can't tell you if it works or not. I'm afraid. I've taken it for so many years that I'm afraid not to take it because my allergies are so bad that what if it does work and I stop taking it, and then they get really bad, and then I have to start the process all over. So honey is really good. Okay. So we're going to stop. I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to get set up, and we're going to go right into the spell work for the solar plexus. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a spell bottle for the solar plexus. And so the first thing we're going to do, it's not fire magic, so nobody panic. But I just want you to know I'm going to be using a yellow candle just on my area because I do work with fire. So it's just as a kind of as a helper, but I have carved it into it with words like solar plexus, healing, peace, calm, those types of things. I drew a sun on it. And then what I'm going to do is I have some, this is a tincture. So this is actually a tincture, lemon balm. And I am going to, I did not have any lemon balm, any lemony thing. And that's what I wanted to use to oil my candle. I didn't have it, or to cleanse my candle. So I'm actually going to use a tincture. Because, it's all about, for me, truly, it is all about intention. And my intention is to bring those things, tranquility, peace, calm, into my work. And even though I'm not using this candle for the actual spell work, it's just my assistant. It's what I do. I have fire around me. I hope this doesn't blow up. Let's see what happens. Oops. I'm going to light it first because I need to. Now I have a little empty tea light little thing. So that's something that you can do with your tea light holders so that we're not just disposing of them and putting them into, you know, the trash or burying them into Mother Earth, which I hope you're not doing them. But, you know, if you put it in your trash can thinking that it's going to go to the recycling plant, I don't know if it will or it won't. So I just reuse them. Put a couple drops of wax in there. And now my candle's set. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do, I have here, this is, sorry, there's some wax in there. I was using it earlier. I have just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of water in there. I have some yellow food coloring. I wanted to use something else and it didn't work. So I'm going to put, I don't know, I might have to put 2 or 3 drops of that in there. I have my little trusty thing. I'm going to mix it up. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to make yellow salt. That's right. We're going to make some yellow salt because salt is about purification. Salt is good for protection. And this is sea salt that I'm using. And I don't need a lot, but in order for you to see what it is I'm doing, I'm going to put a little more than I truly need. I absolutely do not need this much at all because this is my spell bottle. So that's what I'm going to put it in, and I really don't need this much salt, but I want you to be able to see it. All right, so there's my, I hope you can see it. There's my yellow water. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my spoon and I am going to put a couple of drops of yellow coloring in my salt. I'm going to mix it up. I might need another drop or 2 of the food coloring. And you can use crushed herbs and all of that. I just didn't want to do that today. Let's see if that's enough. You don't want to put too much because then you'll melt your salt. So all I'm doing is mixing it up. I know the lighting is really bad in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 drop directly on the salt. I just don't want it to be too orangey, and this yellow food coloring tends to be orangey. So, all right, that looks good. All right, let me see if I can get you to see that. I hope you can see the yellow. So there's my yellow salt. Now, typically, I'm going to let this dry, but I don't have time to let that dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and this is not the spell bottle that I wanted to use either because you can see how small the opening is. We have some really awesome spell bottles at the store, and I went to grab some and so that I could have them to show you. They have a wider mouth, and so it's really easy to get things in. But guess what? We were sold out. So I didn't even know that. So all I'm doing is I'm going to use this one. But as you can see, it's kind of hard to get stuff in. And of course, this is wet from the water, so it's a little even harder to get in there. I'm going to just poke that down with this. Wipe that off the edges. Okay, so there's my salt. There's just a little, you can put however much you want in your bottle. And you can use any size bottle you want. But that's how much I'm going to use of that. The next thing that I'm going to use is, I'm going to use the lemon peel. And the reason I'm putting this in next is because it's a little bit heavy. And so I don't want, I don't want it to be on top. I want it to be on the bottom. And all I'm doing is just putting some lemon peel into the jar. And all the while, what you would be doing, of course I'm not doing it because I'm showing you and I'm talking. All you would be doing is asking the herb, whatever it is that you're putting into it, you're going to be visualizing your solar plexus. And get that salt down. All right, so there I have the salt and the lemon peel. The next thing I want to use is my calendula. The calendula is for comfort. It's for mending your spirit, healing your spirit. And for me, that kind of, you know, shows what the solar plexus is all about. So I am going to stuff that calendula down in there. Use a little bit more. Remember, when you're working with herbs, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it just doesn't take a lot. You don't have to have a full bag or a big giant jar to do this. All right, so my calendula is in there as well on the top. And then the last thing I'm going to use, I have some small citrine little gemstones, little tiny stones, citrine, and I'm going to put those in there as well. I'm going to stuff them down. So I'm putting them right on top. Okay. Then the last thing I'm going to add is a little pinch of the beeswax on the top of that. Just because I can and I want to. All right, so, and I'm not going to stuff that down too hard. Okay, so there's my spell bottle. It has the yellow salt, and you can make any color salt, guys. Anytime you want salt for something, use a food coloring or use an herb that once you grind it, it becomes a color. But there's my yellow salt, my lemon peel, calendula, citrine, and beeswax. Oh, sorry, and beeswax. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my candle. Let's see, I don't want to get this all over. I just happen to have a paper towel handy. So I'm just going to take my candle and I'm going to seal it. I'm just going to drip the wax that's melting around the lid. all different ways you can do this. I've seen it done in 100 different ways. This is my way. I like to seal it first. Remember, I'm not really a big aesthetic kind of person. I think aesthetics are beautiful. They look really cool. But, you know, it's not about the beauty of the spell. It's about the intention of the spell. So now I'm just going to, I said I wasn't going to use fire, but I changed my mind. I was just going to seal it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that wax on there. And get on there. Oh, woo. And now I'm just going to let my candle sit on top of it. And I'm actually going to put this back in the little tea thing so that it doesn't, if it decides to melt all over, that it doesn't melt all over my table and my piece of slate here that I use. So that is it. Put this back in here. Uh-oh, might not fit. All right, well, I'm just going to put it here for now. And then all I'm going to do is, sorry, this is my little incense tray, so it's kind of dirty, icky. I put that in there because I don't want it to melt on my slate. All right, so then that's it. And all I'm going to do at this point is I'll sit and I'll meditate with it, just like I've done with all the other ones. You don't even have to do a big, long meditation. All you have to do is just make sure that you finalize exactly what it is that you want. You know, I want this to align and open my my solar plexus chakra, and I want it to bring in, when I wrote my words, I wrote them down, so I'm asking it to bring in healing, to bring in alignment, to bring in happiness, to bring in joy, to bring in peace, tranquility, self-acceptance, personal power, anything that has to do with the solar plexus. That's what I have put on here. And so I'm just going to visualize that. And then once it's done, I will let it continue to burn until it's all done. And then once it's done, you're able to keep that jar, put it on your altar. You can put it in a little pouch. I would be careful not to put it in your pocket because it is glass. And, you know, I've done for clients, I've actually used, and I know a lot of you witches out there will probably cringe when you hear me say this, but listen, please listen. Sometimes I will use a plastic jar bottle because I actually want them to put it under their pillow. I have a rhyme and a reason, so I'm not going to ask them to put glass under their pillow. I know it's plastic, ooh, uck, and I agree. However, sometimes we have to do what we have to do. So there you go. That's it. That's what I was going to share with you today. I do want to finish up. Let me put you on pause with one more thing to add to it. I also wanted to, for me personally, because although I am doing this as a weekly series, I am actually using what I'm creating here, even though it's not exactly the right environment that I choose to do my stuff, but rather than just showing, you know, like a show and tell, I'm actually going to be using my items that I've created here. And I decided today that I wanted to do a reading from just a card pull from the Osho Zen Tarot deck, or not tarot. It's not a tarot deck. It says it is, but it's not really. It's not like what you think tarot is. And if you don't know who Osho is, of course, he is passed now. He is a bit eccentric, and you really kind of have to get past that. You know, he was a little strange. I'm going to tell you, he really was. But he had some good insight. This is the back of the card. And he had some really good things to say, I think. So what he did was the person created the deck, and then Osho and the person that that did the deck wrote wrote their interpretation of the card, and then Osho gave his. So what I decided to pull, this is called Innocence, and this is actually the Sun card in tarot. And I wanted to read just a little bit because I think, at least for me, I forget this sometimes. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just a little bit. The innocence that comes from a deep experience of life is childlike, but not childish. The innocence of children is beautiful, but ignorant. It will be replaced by mistrust and doubt as the child grows and learns that the world can be a dangerous and threatening place. But the innocence of a life lived fully has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life. Everything that is included within knowledge, be it your name, your identity, everything, you must drop that. This has been given to you by others. If you drop all that has been given by others, you will have a totally different quality to your being, which is innocence. And I just love that, because I think in today's world, we get so caught up in the fear of what others say about us, others think about us, about what we're doing, about our personal life, about how we look, all of those things. And it really does keep it, you know, we feel that. And we forget about that inner child. And I think that it's really, really important. I think for me anyway, that inner child is in that solar plexus. If you think about the Sun card, usually it's depicting, it shows a young child, usually on a horse, and there's a big sun, and he's just enjoying life. He's strong and he's just happy and enjoying. It's innocence. And I think we forget that we can still have that and not be ignorant, not be prideful, not be egotistical, not be narcissistic, but we can be authentically be that. We can have that and not be shameful that we are exposing our childlike innocence, but rather we are healing that a child within and enjoying life's gifts. So, like this feather. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next week, and we will talk about chakra number 4. Bye.